Hi everyone, welcome back to the Clock Shop. This is Jim with JR Clocker on eBay. What a crazy week. It's Saturday, the 19th. I don't even know what day it was. My birthday was the 15th, and I couldn't, it's been just kind of crazy. Every December is crazy for us. Anyway, as I said in previous videos, I'm going to try to do basically kind of an idea of what we do around here every day, and as far as clockwork and stuff like that. We have a mess here, just an absolute mess, just going crazy. You think that the clock shop is crazy? This is our offices, and this is absolutely nuts. I'll give you a little bit of a tour, I guess. Over there is our camera station where I'm actually taking some pictures of Mobilier movement. This is a large weight-driven one that we're sending out. Well, the guy is probably going to buy it after the first of the year. I'll put it aside. Actually, I just noticed that it was set up for the last picture, which was the back. Let me see here. Let me move this out of the way a little bit. All right, this is our light, one of our light bars, and that should be off anyway. It's a really nice movement, and as you can see, we'll work it out. It's probably sold at this point. Then we were working on. Gentleman wanted to know whether I had a leader for this movement that's up on eBay. I do. These are very hard to come by. And so if he buys it, I'm going to throw it in with the deal. Anyway, that's what we do around here. We try to make people as happy as we can make them. Trying to see. Well, we have some other things that are going on where I'm going to have to take this cuckoo clock that I had all pre-packed and ready to go. It's inexpensive, it's new old stock. And so I'm going to take it apart and, let me see here. I'm going to take it apart, take it all out of here because the weights are all packed separately right over here, and the movement's in here. So I'm going to actually set that up and run it for the guy, and see if we can't get that sold. And then this is a movement I've been have up here for a while, but I think I did do a video of it. I just haven't had a chance to get it up yet on eBay. And then we're just going crazy. I mean, it's just absolutely nuts. We're still down staff, which we really could use a couple more people. Anyway, so we will be doing more of this. I'm going to be doing a video later today about letting down springs for American Yankee movements, they time and strike movements. I've had some interest in people being able to do it safely, so that's what I'm going to do. It's when you run out of breath and you're not out of sentence yet. Anyway, so let's get started. We're going to do kind of like a journal. And hopefully I'm going to put it out on Friday so you kind of get an idea of what we do. I may put a couple out a week. I don't know. I'm just starting this from an idea that I got last night to kind of better let you guys know what we do. Now, we're at our offices right now, and they're about 20 minutes, 15 minutes from our clock shop that you've seen more than you've seen here. And It's in the same town, well, same postal address, Nazareth, Pennsylvania. And we're in a small borough outside of it, a small little township outside where we are here. And we are on 4 acres, and we have a house about 900 feet down the driveway that way. And just to show you, we got a bunch of snow. I do have a little video about the snow. I may mix it in here, who knows. Anyway, so let's get started. Okay, here we have a typical movement as I get it. Really, I mean, dirty. Look at that. Yeah, I guess the first thing you can do, this clock shop this came out of, this must have been in the basement or something. They had cats living down there. This is missing. The strike side over here, which I can probably find one pretty easily. But this is, I evaluate stuff. Look at this. I mean, come on. This is probably one of the worst ones I found, so might as well start with that one. What you're typically going to find is a little bit nicer than this, but, I'm just going to look through it. Oh, look at that. It's not missing the strike side. But I do notice that right here, this bar is a little bit bent, and I can straighten that out. It looks like somebody tried to, but they kind of did it the wrong way. So I'm going to do it the right way. It'll be nice and straight. This is it has a bad hammer. I got plenty of hammers around. I'll just replace that, and that just goes on, tightens up, and that will be all well and good. But these do typically, they can get bent very easily if they're mishandled. When I see something like this, the first thing I want to go look at is if the hand arbors are bent. And this does not look like it's been bent at all, so that's a good thing. That I can also straighten out. It looks like it was laying like this. Wherever we found it, it was laying like that because everything, kind of fell on top. And this side's pretty clean. So we'll go through it. Looks like this was cut off. If I may decide to go put another one on, I have plenty of these around, and I'll just switch it out. But the interesting part about this, and I say it in a lot of my ads, that some of you guys, and there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, it all depends on what the client wants and what the client pays for. This movement will start, being funny or something, and next thing you know, the clock guy will come out. Instead of fixing it, he suggests replacing. The clock's probably already 20, 25 years old, so it's probably a good idea. You can get a brand new movement in there, and that will be another many, many years of good use. And I'm not arguing that point. But I think what we have here is a case of the clock stopped for one reason or the other, and there was a rush to replace it. Now I'll go through it a little bit better and see if there's actually a rush to replace it. But right now I don't see the typical what goes wrong is the bushings. And you see I'm down here. I'm going back and forth. And then when I go back and forth, I look here. And that's a really easy bushing to replace because you can take this out, okay? This one's the next, it's really easy bushing to replace because all I have to do is take these two screws off and you can do a hand bushing repair on it. I apprenticed for 4 years under a master clockmaker, and it took me another couple years before I got all my work done. So before I became a master, certified master clockmaker. But to be honest with you, we didn't do too many of these back then. So in the 4 years, I never did a bushing with a bushing machine. We always had to do them by hand. So that would be coming in the morning, tape up my hands, the hands on this finger, because when you did it by hand, if you didn't tape them up, you'd get cuts. Anyway, but this really, and what I'll do is I'll add some oil and normally if you don't have an issue with the time on these movements, you're not going to have it. Rarely do you have an issue with the chime mechanism or the strike train. Nothing, you don't have that issue. All right, it's 3 pulleys, which oftentimes are lost when they just do the replacements because they have to use these again. This is an 84 centimeter. It's the Hermley 1161 850 BS with a K. Now, I'm not quite sure what the K indicates, but it has its self-balancing unit, and that seems to be fine. It's snug enough. It does have a second bit here. Everything looks fine. It's just filthy dirty, but it was filthy dirty after it was changed out, because this is an accumulation of time. Now, I don't know, it has an H on here and I forget what the H date stands for, but I'm going to say late 80s, early 90s. Okay, so, but I mean, it's filthy. But this is a great candidate to clean up, make sure everything's good. I'm probably going to be selling it for about $40. Somebody's going to take it, clean it, make sure everything's up to date, ready to go, and they're going to be able to put it out there, because I think the suspension spring may be okay. The leader's here. I think if I oiled this up, I could actually make it work. But I'll sell it off, for like $40, $39.99, plus shipping on eBay. And somebody will be able to take this and clean it up, whether they're doing it as a hobbyist and they're going to hand clean it, which you can definitely do. It's not terribly dirty. And I really don't see any issues with, I really think that it was a rush to judgment on this one. I think this is a good one. I think that without too much effort, you can have a nice running clock here. And only with, kind of like with a car with low miles, kind of think it has low miles here. Anyway, it's definitely something that was replaced, that was made for Black Forest clocks. Clean it up, test it, put it on your test stand, test it, and I think you'll have something to think about, think to do. Now, I have another clock movement on my test stand right now, which is actually what I think, I'm going to pull this up here. It's what I think is a something that it was a warranty return. Let me explain what that is. Somebody sold a clock. Let's walk over to it. Somebody sold a clock. They went to set it up and everything was great, except when it wouldn't chime. Okay, and so what these companies do. All right, let me get you to it, and I'll show you what it's all about. Okay, here we have a Kissinger. This is 116 centimeter, and it has the mirror finishes on both sides of both plates. Really super nice, clean movement. This is a perfect example of someone that's doing a warranty job for one of the major clock makers, or clock case makers actually, because this is one of 3 of the major clock movement providers. Anyway, they get to the house, they find out that the thing is not, it's striking, it's running fine, but it's not chiming correctly. It's not something that they can see how to fix, so they just move on, and the company that sold the clock just gets a new one from the manufacturer, and they come in and replace it, and everything's fine. This will chime, but not when the hands are engaged. It stops. It strikes fine. There's no problems with it striking. And there's no problems with it running. Been running it for a couple of weeks now. Beautiful. It's right there, and the problem is in the slide. Something's going on here, and I'm going to have to sit down and figure it out if I want to sell it in perfect running condition. If I want to sell it and let somebody else worry about it, I can do that as well. But the difference is probably about $100 in price. I'll sell this as is for probably about $100, and I could easily get $200 for this movement if it's in prime condition, because it's just beautiful. Probably even more than that. Anyway, that refers back to what I do with the other movements. This one's a special case. This does have by the way, the night shut off will automatically shut off and stop chiming for certain hours of the evening, from I think 9 o'clock at night till 7 o'clock in the morning. I think that's the way it goes. But anyway, I just wanted to show you some of the stuff that we go through every day. I'm going to throw some stuff in here about the snowstorm we got and me plowing. But I will do more videos on the movements and how we evaluate them. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe if you're not a subscriber. And I think you'll find the stuff interesting. We have a lot of stuff to go through. Just going to show. We are going to start going through these cuckoo clocks, trying to see what is still decent, what we can survive. But we have a lot of other stuff, as you can see, that we need to go through, check out, make sure that they're all good. I will come bring you over here and show you this one, because I did dig this one out, and we'll have to really see whether we're going to be able to use this case. This is another one that it's Ansonia, but it's not really Ansonia. Anyway, we're going to just go through it and make sure. It's kind of a nice clock, but it sat in this building for I don't know how many years. I'll be able to tell you when I get this off, and you give me a date on the back. But yeah, I wanted to show you this one more time. I came in, ran it for a week. The weights are beautiful, right down together where they're supposed to be. And that's as far as they go down. That's what an 8-take clock chain looks like. It's a lot bigger. This is for sale. Before I really put it seriously for sale, I want to get the crown up. Just finding a different, a way to do that. But yeah, it's a pretty substantial clock. Anyway, you'll have the biggest clock around. Oh, I did want to show you this. I just picked this book up. Probably many of you have had this book before. Many of you don't maybe not understand what this clock is. This is a parade clock. And this clock was pictured down in Florida. And I purchased it from the owner. This book, the picture of this clock, if you look really close, if you have a copy of the book, you'll see hairlines in the dial. Okay, well, the night before it's going to be pictured, he dropped the clock and broke the milk glass dial, and he glued it all back together, and they took pictures of it glued back together, because it's kind of a rare clock. You don't see that many. They would actually put them on poles and walk in the street, and you would put a candle inside them. So they're really hard to find. You'll see the lanterns that go with it more often than you'll see the clock. Anyway, sold the clock back in, I believe, 02 or 03, 2002 or 2003. Didn't even actually have it up for sale. Had it at a show up on a case way in the corner, and a woman walked in and said, "I want that clock." And so we sold her that clock. And she paid a good price for that clock. But she paid what the clock was worth. And the clock will gain value. Anyway, that's it for today. I know I said it about 3 times, but I got to go. The dogs are in the truck because they really like sleeping out there. And it's past their dinner time, so I got to get them home. All right, you have a good one. Thanks for stopping by. Come back and see us.